Okay, so we're on number 6 now. So minus 4x to the 6th y all to the 5th power. All to the 5th power. Okay, so what's the rule with powers outside parentheses? Multiply powers inside parentheses. Yeah, right? Powers outside, multiply powers inside. So what are the powers? There's a 1 power here and a 1 power there. So this power is going to go boom, 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 and hit those. So it'll become minus 4 to the 5th, x to the 30th, y to the 5th. See what happened there? So powers outside parentheses multiply powers inside. Now, is that the same as, what is it, answer D? Yeah. Totally. Yeah, those parentheses are same thing. No big deal. Now, you might wonder, the last class brought up a good question. They were saying, well, that seems like it's unsimplified. I mean, and they said simple. I thought maybe it was none of the above. So it's not none of the above. So I just wanted, I'm wanting to go over this so you don't get fooled tomorrow. So that's good enough. That's simplified enough. When they say simplified, they don't mean you have to multiply out all the numbers necessarily. That's good enough. So if that happens on the test tomorrow, grab that. Whether they leave it this way or maybe you took your calculator, and you multiplied a bunch of those together. I don't know what that is. Like 1,024 or something. I don't know. If you did it that way, that's the same thing. Those are both good. They happen to leave it that way, so we just grab it that way. Does that make sense? So whether you multiply out the number or not, it's still equally simplified. It doesn't really matter. Both are right. Is that okay? Am I making sense? You good with that? Okay, I'll move on with number 7. Number 7, minus 5x minus 11 times 3x plus 3. Okay, so that one's a multiply, as it says right next to it, huh? That's a multiply, 2 parentheses right up against each other, going to multiply. So the minus 5x goes to both. Get minus 15x squared minus 15x, he's done. And then the minus 11 is going to go to both. Minus 33x minus 33. Good so far. Okay, now these two in the middle are like terms. They're both negative, so it's like losing $15 and then losing 33 more. You add them up for a big old loss, right? A big negative, whatever it is, 48. So there it is. Is it A? Yeah, there it is. Is that good on that? Everybody okay with just foiling that out? Double distributing? All right, I'll move along if you're okay. Okay, so number 8 up there. Number 8 says 4x minus 5 times 4x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x minus 2. Okay, so that 4x, first off, it's going to be 8 multiplications, right? That 4x goes to all 4, then the minus 5 goes to all 4. 8 multiplications altogether. So here we go. So you know how it works, right? Out front numbers multiply, powers add. So 16x to the 4th plus 12x cubed minus 16x squared. Minus 8x. Okay, so he went to all 4. Now it's the minus 5's turn, and he's going to go to all 4. And I'm going to stack them vertically. You don't have to. Might be easier, though. Minus 20x cubed minus 15x squared minus 20x plus 10. Now add them up vertically, straight up and down. So 16x to the 4th. 12 minus 20 is minus 8x cubed. minus 15 minus 16 is minus 31x squared. Minus 8 minus 20 is minus 28x plus 10. There we go. Everybody okay with all that mess? Just a real messy one, huh? Then I'll try to do number 9 down here. Four x plus a fifth times 4x plus a fifth. So this is another multiply, double distribution.
Number 8.
What's that?
Would negative 20 be positive 20 since negative 5 plus negative 4 is positive?
Yeah. I did that in the last class too. You know what's funny is I've noticed over the years with myself that my careless mistakes are often not careless. They're a pattern. And there it is. I did it 3 hours ago. I did exactly the same thing. I made that a negative 20 instead of a positive, and people had to correct me. Yeah, and so that's going to change this. Isn't that funny? We are more patternistic than you might think. Things aren't as random as they sometimes appear. Yes, that's 12, huh? Thank you. Made the same error 3 hours ago. Exactly. Yeah, which just means practice. Even I need a little more practice. I'm making a little mistake there. That good? So that's it for math. Now just practice, practice, practice. You'll weed out those little errors. Is that okay? Thanks for the correction. All right, so coming down to number 9 then. Now when like whole numbers multiply fractions, what happens? What happens when like a 4x hits a 1/5? Where does the 4 go? To the top, huh? Because it's 4 over 1, really. So just keep that in mind. Whole numbers, when they hit a fraction, they go to the top, don't they? All right, so here we go. So 4x goes to both. 16x squared plus 4/5 x. He's done. And the 1/5 goes to both.
One of those was a
Yeah.
negative.
I did that same thing. It's crazy. I am making exactly the same mistakes. All right, 4x, I'm going to back up. Thank you. One of those is supposed to be negative. So 16x squared minus 4/5 x, and then boom and a boom, plus 4/5 x minus 1/25. Thank you. Like that. And then the middle two cancel, don't they? So you just get 16x squared minus 1/25. Is that good? 1 or 2 of you got 100% on the practice exam. You're doing better than me. I'm making a couple mistakes. Is that good? Questions I can answer on that one? All is well? Okay, I'm going to flash off that screen. Work on 10 and 11. All right, so number 10. 2x minus 11y squared. Now, what are you supposed to do when the 2 power like that? Can I just say powers, what have we been saying? Powers outside parentheses multiply powers inside parentheses, right? Not here. Have I mentioned the one exception? That's right, plus or minus. Powers outside parentheses only multiply powers inside parentheses when there's not adding, subtracting inside the parentheses. When you have adding, subtracting, subtract means you must write 2 of the parentheses, right? You must write 2x minus 11y, 2x minus 11y, and like FOIL it out. You with me? See the difference on why you can't just take down the powers outside and just multiply powers inside? Everybody see that difference? Right? Because here, let me look back with you. See how, a couple problems back. Maybe, yeah, number 6. There it is. See number 6? See how in number 6 I had parentheses with a power, and I didn't write 5 of those or whatever. I just took that power and multiplied the other powers. That's because there's no, see how in here, there's no adding or subtracting. There's a negative sign, but there's no adding or subtracting. They're all one term, in other words, right? There's no separators, right? Whereas here, these are one term, 2 terms, 2 separate terms, aren't they? 2 separate terms. So now we FOIL. What do we get? 4x squared minus 22xy, and boom and a boom, minus 22xy plus 11 times 11, 121y squared. Use your calculator if you need to. Got to FOIL it out, huh? Is that good? And then gather like terms. Minus 22 and minus 22. Minus 44. XY. There we go. Questions on that? So what answer is that one? That's B. No questions? Good. All right, I'm going to keep going. If you're okay, if you got that down, I'm going to do another messy one. These are messy. These ones, number 11. So x plus y plus 4 times x plus y minus 4. So there's going to be 9 multiplications, aren't there? 3 terms times 3 terms. You with me? So first, the x goes to all 3 in the other parenthesis. So we get x squared plus xy minus 4x. And then the y will go to all 3. Plus xy plus y squared minus 4y. And then the 4. Plus 4x plus 4y minus 16. Everybody good with that? 9 terms, 3 terms, 3 terms, 3 terms from all the multiplications. You able to track with all those? Now, gather like terms. Let's see, I'm just going to underline them, I'll circle them as I go. X squared. Is there any other x squareds? Doesn't look like it. XY, another XY. What do I do with an XY and an XY? Yeah, and what numbers are in front of them? There's an invisible 1, so 1 and 1 makes 2. You don't mess with the powers, you just add the numbers in the front, right? You only change powers when you're multiplying, right? Okay. Minus 4x cancels plus 4x, huh? And then y squared's kind of in a category by himself. Oh, and then minus 4y and plus 4y cancel. And then minus 16. There we go. It's any order, whatever order you have those in is fine. Looks like they shuffled them around. Is it C?
So what would be the difference with D divided?
Yeah, D's different because if you multiplied, yeah, it'd be minus 8. 2 times 4 would be minus 8. Almost. I was with you for a second.
Like the 2 XY, that part would be the same, right? The only part.
Yep. Yep, the only part that's different. You're right. Yeah, good observation. Yep, the only part that's different is the 8 and the 16. The other parts are roughly the same. Good on that? All right, we're about halfway through. So, these are the kind where you got to do 3 divisions, huh? 90x squared over 9. Plus 18x over 9 plus 1 over 9. Now, the one big bar, you got to make into 3 separate bars, 3 separate divisions, and then just divide them each separately. So we'll say 9 into 90 10 times, 9 into 18 2 times, and then 1/9. B. 13, we good? What do you got to do on 13? Yeah, good job. How'd you know? Well, this other one's division, but we didn't do long division. Yeah, when you have two terms on the bottom, when you have two terms, you know, adding, subtracting. Again, the adding, subtracting in the denominator, you got to do long division. So you got to make it x squared plus 1 into x to the 4th plus 6x squared plus 9. Like that. We good? So you got to do long division like that whenever there's two terms in the denominator. All right, so how do we do the long division thing? Do you remember? What do we do first? Where do we look? Look here and here. Right, just front and front, huh? You say, what can I put up here times the front that'll match the front? What times x squared will be x to the 4th? X squared, yeah. So we need to put x squared up there. And it goes there and there. So that's x to the 4th plus 1x squared. Oh, yeah, it goes to both, doesn't it? Whatever you write up here, it distributes to both, and you write both answers down here, huh? Remember that whole long division thing? Okay, now we need to subtract these. Right? So let's subtract them. So x to the 4th minus x to the 4th, just 0, gone. Perfect, that's what always happens. 6x squared minus, it's really minus. See, if it helps you, you can put the minus right there if you want. 6 minus 1 is 5x squared. Bring down the 9, right? We good there? Everybody see what happened with that minus? Right? So it's really that, it's subtract. You're subtracting that whole bottom line, aren't you? So 6 minus 1 is 5. Good? Now, where are we going to look at this point? Front to front. What times the front will match the front? Yeah, just 5, huh? Because that 5 will go boom, boom, and it'll be 5x squared plus 5 times 1 is 5. Good. Subtract. These are gone. 9 minus 5, 4. That's our remainder, huh? That's our remainder. Where do we write it? You bring it up here, 4 over the left. It's bottom over left. There it is. Is it B? Yeah, B. Answer B. It's all of this. Now that's messy business. Do you remember that kind of? Long division. Questions I can answer on that one? So there'll be one long division question on the exam tomorrow. And it's the one that has denominator, more than one item in the denominator. It has a plus or a minus, making two things in the denominator. Okay. I'm going to move on if you're okay. You okay with that? Everybody get that down? All right. Got 10 problems left. We're about on track. About a problem every 2 minutes here. So we got 3x squared y to the 7th plus 27x squared y to the 6th. Yeah, you're supposed to factor. Look down here. Now, this is where you really, on the factoring ones, you really want to look at the options, the multiple choice options, to help yourself out. Look at these options here. What does it look like they're taking out? Look at the front. Looks like they're taking out a 3 on a couple of them. Looks like they're taking x squared y to the 6th or x6 y to, I guess it's all kind of mixed around. Some kind of x thing, some kind of y thing. All right, so let's go back up. Look at these two. Yeah, 3. 3 goes into 3 and 27. And how do you know what power of x or y to take out? Lowest, exactly. So you look at the two x's, you take the lowest. Well, they're the same. That's no big deal. You look at the two y's, and you take the lowest. What's the lowest of the two y's? Y to the, oh yeah, squared. I grabbed the highest. Why did I do that? Oh, no, y6. y6, right? Because there's y to the 7th and y to the 6th. So the lower y is y to the 6th. Good? Make sense how I did that? Now let's figure out what goes inside. 3x squared y6 times what will go back to this? Regular y. Y to the first, right? We'll add and go back to this. The second one, plus 3x squared y to the 6 times what will go back to this? 3 times what? 9. Any x powers or y powers? No, it's already got all you need. Out here is x squared y to the 6 times the 9. We'll go back to x squared y to the 6, won't it? That good? So that is what? Oh, is that not there? Is that none of the above? It's none of the above. Is that disturbing? None of the above. That okay? Questions on that one? All right, I'm going to go to the next one. X cubed minus 8x squared minus 5x plus 40. So looking at those four terms, what do we do when we're factoring four terms?
Practice.
Yeah, have it 2-2 split, break it in the middle, right? First two, last two. Remember that whole thing? When you have four terms, do a 2-2 split, right? All right, and so you do just the first two. What do just the first two have in common? X squared. Right? X squared. Let me write that a little neater. X squared. So x squared times what? X squared times what? 8. We'll go back to x cubed minus 8x squared, right? Everybody good with that? Right? Because this is x to the 1, powers will add, it'll go back, right? Now, whenever you're doing the 2-2 split, and you do the first two and you get the parentheses for the first two, what does that mean? Same. Copy it over. Same thing for the last two. Always. On the 2-2 split, parentheses always match. So just go ahead and bring it over. You know right away. Now, what goes in front? What times x will make negative 5x? Well, negative 5. That's easy, now that we already have the parentheses. Negative 5 times x is negative 5. And negative 5 times negative 8, yep, is positive 40. It's beautiful. See how the parentheses always match? When you do the 2-2 split, parentheses are always the same. Now, am I done there? Why am I not done? Yeah, you have the two of the same thing, got to put them together, huh? Or the other way I said you got a loose horse. Remember, whenever you're done factoring, see how all the pluses and minuses are contained in parentheses? They're not running free and loose, right? You got to corral the horse. So you can't stop here. Got one more step to do. We look at them and we go, okay. So what do they both have the same? X minus 8. Remove it. Start a new set of parentheses. Bring down x squared. Bring down minus 5. Done. Now we're done. And that's none of the above, isn't it? Again. It's disturbing. Two none of the aboves in a row, and you're for sure thinking you're wrong, but those are right. Questions on that one? We good? Okay, I'll keep moving. We're losing our edge. 15 minutes, 10 problems. Okay. Okay, so number 16, we look at this. Supposed to factor. Hey, remember what you should do on factoring problems? Where should you look first? Look down at the answers. Look in front of the answers there. What do you see they factored out as a GCF? 2x, huh? See that? So I'm sure that 2x needs to come out of these things. So you do the one big parenthesis and you take out the 2x. Like that. Does that make sense? Take out the 2x, do the one big parenthesis. And then 2x times what goes back to 2x cubed? X squared. 2x times what goes back to 2x squared? x. 2x times what? Minus 12? Yeah, it goes back to minus 24x, huh? Good to there? Now we're not done, right? Remember, whenever you do this is the GCF, right? Whenever you do the GCF, you have the one big parenthesis. Everybody know that difference, right? When you do the GCF, you have the one big parenthesis, but then you do on the first step, and then the two on the next step. So the next step, I'm going to do the 2 parentheses, right? The 2x stays in the front. Going to do 2 parentheses. Okay. So how do you know what goes in there? Well, what multiplies and adds? The middle number is 1, huh? What multiplies to be 12? 4 times 3, x is in the front, of course. 4 times 3 is 12. How do we do the sign? The order doesn't matter because they're both just next to a plain x. Doesn't matter which one has the 3 and the 4. But what's the sign in the middle? So the signs will matter, of course. The sign in the middle is plus. The sign in the middle always goes on the bigger, the 4. Plus 4 minus 3 makes plus 1 in the middle, and they multiply to be negative 12. There we go. Is it C? Yeah, they just have it the opposite order that I do, but that's the same answer. It's C. Good? On that? Keep going. Maybe I can do 17 right down here. So 17, x squared minus 3xy minus 18y squared. I'm going to, first question on every factoring problem. Is there a GCF? Doesn't look like it. Look here. Is there anything in front of anybody? See number 17? Always look at those answers on the factoring questions, on like the half of the test that's factoring, or maybe it's a third of the test, but you know, a big portion of the test is factoring. Look at it and say, hey, is there any answers in any GCFs? No. So there's no GCF here, right? Look at these three. Do they have anything? Do they all have an X? No, not the last one. Do they all have a Y? No, not the front one. Is there a number they all have? No, the front one doesn't have any number at all. So no. No. So instead, we do multiply, add. So we do the 2 parentheses. X is in the front. What multiplies to be 18? What times what is 18? 18y squared. 6y, 3y. You good? See how we have y squared on the right, so we have y's in the right of each parenthesis? X squared on the left, x is in the left of each parenthesis. Is that good? All right, so now how can they make, the sign in the middle? Sign in the middle is negative. Sign in the middle goes on the bigger, right? Minus 6y, and then plus 3y. Is the answer there? C? It looks like C, doesn't it? Yeah, it is C. Good. Questions? All right, I'm going to move on. All right, 18. The problems are getting a little tougher. So let's see. 8z squared minus 6z minus 9. All right. So first step on every factoring question is GCF. Is there a GCF in front of anybody? No. Let's look at those answers. No GCF. So, what's in common to all the terms? Nothing. Sure enough, nothing goes into 8, 6, and 9. They don't all have a Z. All right, move right into FOIL, huh? When you have a number on the front, like an 8, you got to do FOIL. You can't just do multiply add. Does everybody know that difference? Right? You have to write the whole word FOIL. All right, so front times front to be front. What times what is 8z squared? 4z, 2z? Or 2, 4, 4, 2, doesn't matter. Whatever order you want. There, 4, 2, 2, 4. Is that good? How do the back numbers make 9? What times what makes 9? 3 and 3. Okay, now, can they make the middle? Well, let's check it out. Let's do the little happy face arcs, right? The 2 inner, the 2 outer. 2 inner makes 6z, the 2 outer make 12z, right? 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6 in the middle. Now, and you want the middle term to come out minus 6z. Sign in the middle, sign on the bigger. 12 is the bigger. So that's going to be negative on the 12, positive on the 6 to make negative 6, isn't it? And remember how the signs move? Once you got them correct, once you got plus 6 minus 12 is minus 6, this sign always goes straight up. And the other one goes to the back. Good. You guys good at FOIL factoring? It's the hardest kind of factoring. You okay at that? Questions? If you're not comfortable, you know, there's Roberto will be there tomorrow morning, 8:30 to 10:30 before class. All right. Right? Yeah, that's the 2. Yeah, he'll be there the 2 hours before your class. All right. Let's now. That was number 8. We got 18. I mean, how time is running. We got like 8 minutes. We got like 8 problems, 7 problems. We're losing time. I'm not gonna... All right, number 19. 12x squared minus 52x minus 40. Look for GCF. Do you see any GCF over there? 4. Looks like 4 is coming out of a couple of them. So do the 4 with the 1 big parenthesis, right? And then on the next line, you'll go to the 2. So take out the 4. 4 times 3. 4 times 13. Thank you. 4 times 10. Good? All right, that would work. And now, leave that 4 in the front. That's your GCF. And do the 2 parentheses. FOIL. FOIL. Front times front. 3x times x makes 3x squared. And then last times last to make 10. What makes 10? Well, 5 times 2, but it's actually the other order, isn't it? See, this order doesn't work because the 2 inner would make 5x, the 2 outer would make 6. They cannot make the middle of minus 13. No way 5 and 6 can make, they just make 11. They'll make 13. So what do you do? Switch them up, switch them up, switch them up. Put the 2 here, the 5 there. Try again. And what are you going to get? The 2 middle make 2x. The 2 outside make 15x, right? 3 times 5. Now you can do it. Sign in the middle. Sign on the bigger. Plus 2 minus 15. Makes the middle. Right, this sign always goes straight up. Other one to the back. There we go. All right, FOIL factoring. We're running out of time. Let's see, there's just more and more and more of these FOIL factoring problems. So I'm skipping a couple. All right, so 23. 45x squared minus 20. Look over here for GCFs. What do you see? What did they take out? 5. So take out the 5, 1 big parenthesis, leaves 9x squared minus 4. And then, that's 2 terms, that's an FL, huh? So leave the 5 in the front, the 2 parentheses, 3x, 3x makes 9x squared. Front times front. Last times last, 2 times 2 makes 4. You need 1 plus 2, 1 minus 2. There we go. Is it C? Yeah. All right. On to 24 we go. Stop me if you want to talk about it. 24 says 8a to the 4th b minus 18b cubed. Look for GCFs. What'd they take out? 2b. So take out 2b. See how helpful? This test is going to be easy, huh? The multiple, not easy. Don't overly comfort yourself and not study or something crazy. But it can be helped. It's nice to look at the multiple choice. This will be the last happy exam. Remember, I keep warning you, 4 and 5 are a lot harder. As you've seen already, right? You saw the word problems today. That's what all the rest of the material is like in 4 and 5. Average grade drops like 2 grades. I'm not exaggerating. It's usually about 2.5 in fall and spring. It's always crazy. It's like falling off a cliff. And I'm not saying that to discourage you. I'm like a coach saying, hey, you got a big opponent coming. Get ready. Get ready. Train well. Do something to prepare. Right? I'm not trying to discourage you, but to prepare you. So do good tomorrow. That'd be one great thing you could do. Get like a 97 or something tomorrow so that it's not so scary when you get to the harbor. You're not so pressured. You can take a grade that's a little lower and you have some cushion, you know. Build yourself a cushion tomorrow. This will be the last easy exam. 4 and 5 are quite a bit harder in material. Okay, so 2b times 4a to the 4th. Yeah, right. Minus 9, 2 times 9b squared. Makes 18b cubed. Good so far? Now the 2b stays in the front. And what we have left is the FL, which says front times front to be 4a to the fourth. That'd be 2a squared, 2a squared. And last times last to be 9b squared, 3b, 3b, 1 plus, 1 minus. Good there? That makes sense? Front, front, last, last? Does that answer D? Yeah. All right, one more. Number 2. We okay with that? Okay if I flash off that? 25. Bring it up here. 25 x to the fourth minus 81. Look, what's in common? Nothing. So it's an FL, huh? 2 parentheses, x squared, 9 times 9, 1 plus 1 minus, right? Positive 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. Good so far? Now the question is, can it go further? Yeah, right. The part in the front cannot, because that's a plus. Remember what we learned about that? The FL plus just stays as it is, but the back part, this is an FL minus, so he can break down, he can cut in half again, huh? So x2 becomes x1, or just regular x, plus 3 minus 3 to make minus 9. That's our answer. Why can't it go again? Well, this is plus, and this is plus, so they don't go any further. And the minus, this is just regular x, and you can't cut 1 in half. Right? So, that's it. That is answer, was it C? Yeah, there it is. Questions on that? How are we doing? Any questions? Anything I can help with for tomorrow's exam? Nothing? All right, I'm loading up the clicker here. Then, all right.